Black bottle. Black bottle. Black bottle. And black bottle. Got a full set at the moment. This one here is obviously an older release that I picked up at auction a little while ago with the water jug. I'll get to that one later. But what I'm looking at today is these new releases from Distell, Gordon Graham, if they still call it that. Yeah, I think they do. It's on the top there. New releases from the Black Bottle range in the Alchemy series. So Black Bottle is a brand, a range of whiskey. It's blended Scotch, which has a very long and rich history. But like many Scotch blends, it hasn't always had the quality to back up that rich history, especially when you look at the standard Black Bottle, the stuff that you can buy these days. It's even popping up in the supermarkets now, 40%, very cheap, very uninspiring. I have reviewed that one, but that's all kind of started to change very recently, in my opinion, with these Alchemy series releases. I've reviewed the first and the second one, the Double Cask and the Island Smoke already. I wasn't going to review these two. I wasn't going to bother. I thought I should really do something different. But then I thought those first two were just such good value. The first two releases, they still sell for about £25. I think they're still pretty available, and I thought that they offered really good quality for the money that you pay. These two, they're a little bit more expensive, at least at the moment. I'm seeing these for about £28, which is still really cheap for a decently presented Scotch whisky. So I caved. I thought I'd give them a try, see what it's about, because the experience that I had from the first two of the Alchemy series was really good, and I thought they were just really recommendable, great blended Scotches. So the one that we're going to be looking at today is the Black Bottle Andean Oak. So I'll give you a little close-up of the label there, because it is a lovely label. I really like it. It's kind of old school, retro, modern chic. So this whiskey, it is a blended Scotch. It's a Distell product, and like almost all Distell products, apart from the Black Bottle, the standard one really, it's presented at a fantastic 46.3% ABV. It's non-chill filtered. It is a no age statement product, but it's something at this price level probably doesn't matter too much. It doesn't mention colouring on the label, or I can't see anything on the website either. Whiskey Base, interestingly, does say that this is natural colour. So perhaps someone has contacted Distell and got that information, but as far as I can see, there's nothing that says either way, and Distell definitely don't guarantee that on the label. What else do we know about this whiskey? Andean Oak, known for thriving at altitudes others cannot, and are super rare Andean virgin oak casks, so probably quite an active oakiness in this whiskey, are lightly charred, releasing an intense nutty sweetness that takes root in Black Bottle's iconic smoky character. So this blended Scotch, it is a no-age statement whiskey, but we know that it's finished for 7 months in virgin Andean oak casks, and as it says on the label, they are virgin oak casks with a light char. Now, you heard me say on the back label there is a mention of the Black Bottle's smoky character, but it doesn't say, apart from that anywhere, that this is a peated whiskey. But, little spoiler, I think there is a fair amount of peat in there. Going into this one, I'll admit that I didn't expect a lot from this one. This wasn't the one that I was excited about. This, as with a lot of this, when something tells us that it's going to be intense and smoky and peaty, we get excited. So this was the one that I was looking forward to. This one, not so much. I think that, in my humble opinion, there's already far too much active raw virgin oak in the modern whiskey world. So personally, I don't get too excited when a new whiskey pops up and raw virgin oak is the big selling point, but we'll see. So let's cut some of the glass, see what we've got. Screw top. It's a very nice bottle though. Flat bottle, very ergonomic, compact, dark glass so it protects the liquid inside. And I like the style of it. Traditional, good. Very good presentation. So that is the colour that we're getting. So I think that is, it probably does have a bit of colouring in it, I'd say. It's virgin oak, so it's going to pick up a little bit of colour from that barrel. But for a whiskey, and we're assuming the age that this is, we're assuming that it's probably not very old to be sold at £28 for something with a good presentation. It's probably a young whiskey, so I'd say likely to have a little bit of colouring in, but not too much. So black bottle Andean oak on the nose. As you'd expect, there is a dark oaky quality to this whiskey on the nose at least. Not enormously and uncomfortably heavily oaked, but there's definitely a dense oaky presence, so some gentle wood spice, some licorice notes, and also a little bit of black pepper. Also getting what I detect as some really well done and well matured, pleasant, gentle, creamy, grainy notes. So I think it's a very pleasant nose. It's better than I expected, to be honest, and it really does exactly what it says on the tin. You're getting some well-matured, gentle, oaky notes. There is a lot of oaky presence in this, but it's very well done, and you can tell that it's a blended whiskey as well. So let's see how it tastes. On the palate, getting quite a fruitiness, more fruitiness on the palate than I got on the nose, and dark fruits and spice. A little bit of sour, musty blueberry note, some cherries in there, and something that I'm growing more and more fond of, especially since I had that Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. There's a really nice peppery spice note to the palate of this whiskey. Also getting some nice milk chocolate notes and a slight funky smokiness. Going to have one more sip and look at the finish. So finish, medium long. Longer than you can probably expect from a cheapish blend, more dark fruit notes, and quality creamy grain whiskey notes. So I think that I'm pleasantly surprised by this one. It's really surprised me quite a lot and really exceeded my expectations. I think that this is an excellent blended Scotch. It's got just enough malt content and some really good quality grain. It's got excellent body, really nice complexity, really well made, enough in every way, despite being probably quite young. But I think that I don't know what effect that Andean oak has had. The fact that it's from that specific part of the world, I wouldn't say that it's a particularly unique oakiness, but I think that the oak, the virgin oak component of this whiskey works really well, probably better than it does for the average virgin oak treated whiskey. So perhaps there is something in it. Perhaps that Andean oak is the magic bullet that makes virgin oak work really well. I do also wonder though if it might be a case of that virgin oak combined with that creamy, smooth, light and refined grain whiskey character just makes it work better than it does on a lot of virgin oak treated single malts, because I'm noticing a lot of similarities between the oak on this one and the oaky, spicy, peppery, creamy notes that I got on the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. As for a grade, I'm going to give this one, I gave the first two, the double cask and the Island Smoke, a C+ each, I think. I'm going to give this one a B-. This is my favourite of the range so far. In particular, I'm just really glad to say that that virgin oak treatment hasn't been too heavy-handed, it's not too much for the base spirit, and it just works really, really well. And also, like I said before, that peppery spice and the slightly funky peat and that quality creamy grain reminds me a lot of the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. I think compared to the Cutty Sark Prohibition, it's got a little bit more fruitiness, it's possibly a little bit more complex, but with a little bit less power. Also worth noting that this is more expensive than the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition, which is about 3 or 4% stronger, so this one's got that working against it. But I still think that at £28 this one is exceptional value, well worth a try for anyone looking for something new, and especially if you've already had the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition and you like that. I think that if you like that, then you'll almost certainly love this one, and it's well worth a try. So thanks for watching, and cheers.